Hey guys, my name's Sam and welcome to Prep Medic. I don't have a lot of time this week for a video, so I thought that this would be a good time to go over my duty belt I wear when I'm on patrol. So not ERT, not in a paramedic capacity at all. This is just what I wear as a reserve deputy sheriff. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so I know the view isn't the best from this camera. You can't see a whole lot of the belt. I'll try to cut in a lot of B-roll of this belt and hold this up so you guys can see it, and we'll go through this piece by piece. Alright, so starting on the right side, I have a handcuff holster. Now I carry one set of handcuffs on my belt and one set in my pockets, and it's good to always have two sets just because if you've got a really big person, they can't really get their arms behind their back that well, so if you have two, you can link them together. And then it's also good if one fails or if you have multiple suspects. So I would always recommend carrying two sets of handcuffs. So here I've got a retention handcuff holder. There's no closures or buckles or anything on that, so it's really easy to just grab your handcuffs. I've also never had an issue with these falling out in training or running, anything like that. So it's a pretty good option, and this comes from Firearm, as does almost every single holster and piece of equipment on here. So next to the handcuff holder, I've carry 3 pistol magazines in this, and works pretty well. Can't really say a whole lot about it. The only negative part of this is that you have 2 retention screws on either side. So your retention in the middle is going to be significantly tighter than the 2 outers, which I guess is kind of nice. You've got 2 easy access magazines, but if you're looking for the same retention out of each one when you're doing mag changes, you will not get it here. I know a lot of deputies will carry this one with the middle mag slightly up, so it's a little bit easier to get out, but that's personal preference. Next to the mag pouch, I carry the X26 taser. Pull that out, cartridge is out. This is a pretty standard taser, has the light laser combination and then the interchangeable barbs. Here you can do a drive stun or you can shoot it out. The holster that it's in is a Safariland holster. It is a retention, so you push that and then pull it to the side, and it's pretty easy for the taser to come out. It's a little bit harder when this belt's flat because the mags get in the way, but when it's curved around your body, it's a lot easier to pull that taser out and use it. So next to the taser, one thing everybody should always carry is a flashlight. And this is the Streamlight ProTac USB flashlight. I don't know all the specs on it, but I think it's close to 1,000 lumens, has a lot of different settings. And the best part of it is that it's rechargeable. I hate going out and buying batteries, so it's really nice to have a flashlight I can just plug into the wall and go from there. The only downside of this is that there's no warning when it turns off. So if you run out of batteries, it's just going to die on you, which has been a problem for me on at least 2 occasions. And then in addition to that, there are not many flashlight holsters out there, holders that will work with this. So I've got it in its cheap nylon case that it came with. And then I know some people have designed some Kydex around it, but a lot of the commercial holders won't work with this particular flashlight. Moving right along, we've got a Motorola radio. This radio is in a holder that can be easily taken off, come off your belt. I've got a lapel mic on it, and then I do have an earwig I can wear with it as well, which I try to do if I'm on patrol, just because it's a lot more privacy for your radio communications if dispatch is telling you somebody's wanted, or you're in a place where you don't want to be making a lot of noise. It's nice to have that. So the radio is pretty standard. We just moved from the old bricks to these, and honestly, pretty much everybody would take the old bricks over these. Our radio system is not the best where we're at, and there's a lot of dead spots in the county for these radios. Next to that, I don't even know what these pouches are called, but everybody has one. There's a little medical glove pouch, and I actually need to restock it with medical gloves. Inside this, you can also put a CPR mask in there, and then I just carry Under Armour gloves for hand-to-hand, anything to protect yourself. As a firearm, I've talked about this before in one of my other videos. For one, it's a level 3 retention holster by Firearm. It's the quick release under that, so I can take this off really quick and put it onto my ERT belt, my first line gear, or I can put my Glock, if I'm just messing around at the range, I can throw this on because it's got the same kind of holster. So the firearm we're using is the SIG P320, chambered in 9mm, and then I've got a Surefire light under that. So these are good guns. I like the way they look, I like the way they shoot. We just went from the P229, which was chambered in 40 caliber, but we've switched to 9 for various reasons. This has night sights on it, and other than that is pretty much stock. Last but not least, we have pepper spray. This is the MK4 360 degrees. It sucks to get hit with. I've never actually used this on somebody, and I probably due for a replacement on this from my office. So works well. I wouldn't want to get sprayed again, but I don't have a whole lot to say about it. And then that, of course, is in another Safariland holder. The belt itself has Velcro closures instead of a snap. I'm not sure why we go with that, but it's got these two gold hooks here that will go into the other side, and then it's got a Velcro closure that goes around that. You wear this with an underbelt that has Velcro on it, and then you wear belt savers over that to keep it up. It can get pretty bulky and it's pretty hard to take on and off. So that's the setup I have. You'll notice the absence of a couple things. The tourniquets, I do not carry a tourniquet on my belt. I don't have a whole lot of belt real estate. I try to run it clean in the back, so when I'm sitting in the car, I'm not getting those back problems. Surprise, I'm a paramedic, I've got back problems. So I keep it clean on the back, and there's really not a whole lot of room for a tourniquet. So I keep a tourniquet and a trauma dressing in my pocket, and then I've got the IFAK in my car and the bigger kit in the back of the car if need be. So it's not perfect, but it works well for me. And then you'll also notice I do not carry an ASP. That's for a couple reasons. One, my department didn't offer training in ASPs when I first started, and then I've been kind of lazy in getting that. I haven't heard a lot of stuff saying you really should have one besides breaking windows. You can get somebody's arm out from under them, but for me it hasn't been that important, and maybe you guys feel differently, and if you do, please let me know. And I still want to get it, but I just haven't gotten it at this point. So that's basically all I have for this. If you have any questions about anything I talked about today, please let me know in the comments down below. I like your suggestions on videos, and I try to get through as many as I can. Some videos take a little bit more timing and preparation than others, so if I don't get to it right away, I apologize, but I do appreciate those suggestions because sometimes I'm just tapped out of ideas and I don't even know what you guys want to see. So hit that like button, subscribe if you'd like to, and I will see you next week.